Yo, yo, yo. Positive energy and good vibrations from me to you. It's your boy, RJD, the Imperfect Gentleman. And yeah, this is another dope episode of the Imperfect Fathers podcast. But before we get into the episode, I take this moment, right? And I got to say, um, I have some news about the last episode that I shot. And the last episode that I shot was about my best friend who lost his life. Um, the news came back that he didn't take his life. He did not take his life, thank God. It was an accident. It was a faulty firearm that was discharged, and he unfortunately lost his life. So that I just wanted to put that out there. Um, Praise be to God that he wasn't in a mental space that he wanted to take his life. That is what I'm grateful for. That's what the family is grateful for. We just also still saddened that he's not with us. But I just wanted to put that out there that my good man Rob Rashim Evans did not take his life. It was an accident, and that's it. I just wanted to put that out there. So without further ado, let's get to the episode. Positive energy and good vibrations from me to you. You have now tuned in to the Imperfect Fathers podcast. Yes, positive energy and good vibrations from me to you. It is your boy RJD, the Imperfect Gentleman, and yes, this is another dope episode of the Imperfect Fathers podcast. Yo, Swizzle, welcome home.
What's going on,
Welcome
bro?
home,
What's
man. What's
going on,
going
my
on?
brother? Man, listen, life is great. I can't really put it any better than that. Life is great. Life comes with what it comes with, but it's how you choose to look at it. And I've been looking at it in a great way. You feel me? So life is great, man. Life is great, man. How you been, man?
Man, I am blessed, bro, for real. Like just to be here. Like, and I know sometimes we say that, and it's sometimes like a cliche, but over the last few months, like I've learned that to be here is a gift. Like when they say the present is a gift, like man, like I've learned that over the last few months more than anything else in my entire life, and I'm super grateful, bro. Like when I wake up in the morning, and and sometimes especially now it's hard for me to get out of the bed and get I'm still stiff from the wound and all that.
Mm,
But every time I feel it tighten up, I'm like, yo, I'm glad to feel that. I'm
mm,
glad to be able to feel that. You know what I'm saying?
mm, mm. So, so let's just talk about that for a second, because we didn't really revisit that.
All right, hold on. Before
So
before we get into the episode, and we got our homie pulling up. We got a homie pulling up right now. So
that
before we get in and before we bring this knucklehead in on the show, I gotta do my due diligence because this episode
right,
is about to get
right,
crazy.
right,
So let me talk to the father and
right.
pay the bills. As a matter of fact, let me let the old head in first. Let me let the old head in first. Oh, we can't even see you, black man.
This is the Dark Knight. What do you want? Why are you disturbing me at this time?
Yo, you see what I'm saying, y'all? You see what I'm saying? This is this is what I gotta deal with, y'all. This is
It's
what I gotta
fine.
deal
Man,
with.
what's going down, brothers? It is
Yo,
so
E, what's the
good.
word, man?
It's so good to see y'all, and y'all
What's
can't see
going
me.
on,
That's
man?
all right. I like this.
Seeing the view. There you
Well,
go.
you a high yellow, nigga, so we can see you a little bit. You know what I mean?
Hey man, that's a hologram.
Yo,
I
Hey
can
listen,
see
let
you
me
man,
lighting
let me
on.
let me let me talk to the father
yeah,
upstairs and pay these bills right quick, man.
yes
Then we can
sir.
get into the meat and potatoes. So with that being said, Heavenly Father, grace and
Yes
eternal
Lord.
Father, Daddy, we appreciate you. Thank you. We're grateful for everything, our life, our health, our strength, the oxygen, the blood that flows warmly through our
Hallelujah.
veins. God, we are just grateful. Just to
Yes Lord.
exist. That's all. You're worthy enough just to say thankful just for that alone. Right now, God, as we go
Hallelujah.
before your people, we ask you to go before us, set the table that we may say
Mm,
something that we may entertain, bless,
mm,
encourage, and inspire, Father,
Yes
not to be
Lord.
himself, but a better version of himself for his community, family, and loved ones around him. These are our prayers in the matched name of the Father. Amen.
amen.
Yes. So
That's great.
around this podcast, yo, we have been blessed. We have had a sponsor around this podcast almost since day one, and they've been rocking with us heavy. And those checks, let me tell y'all something about this sponsor. They don't play. Like, I've been getting the check literally every month from It's Now or Never Entertainment from, like I said, just about day one, because you guys are going over there and you are downloading those beats. So for everyone who's not and don't
Very
know,
nice.
go over there and download you a beat from It's Now or Never Entertainment, and let them know the Imperfect Father sent you. Because if you do that, you won't pay the full price. You will only pay 50% of the price. So whatever price it is in the beat store that you see, you only pay half of that if you tell them the Imperfect Father sent you. So I think you should shop smart, shop black, because it's important. But shop It's Now or Never Entertainment. Let them know we sent you.
Very nice.
So those are out the way. We paid our bills and we talked to the Father. Now we're about to get into the meat and potatoes. Before we do that, yo, fellas, man, it's been a little second since everybody been on the set, man, and I got a good feeling we have another brother about to pull up at any second. So tonight's gonna be very eventful. If you
Full
don't know,
house.
huh?
So it's a full house tonight.
Oh yeah. We trying to get there, man. We wanted to bring everybody out, start the year out. You know what I'm saying? Have a good conversation and talk about a conversation that's actually kind of taboo these days. You know what I'm saying? Like
Okay.
fatherhood and sexuality, like
Mhm.
because that's like these days, like it's almost like you can't say that in public together. You know what I mean? Like it's
Mhm.
one of those things like, did you say that out loud?
Mhm.
But
Is that why you say it's taboo?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that's my definition of taboo. Like, what's your definition of taboo?
Um. I mean, I wouldn't use that word. But I guess my definition would be whatever it is. You know what I'm saying? Like, I guess that I get the understanding of it. Um. You know, but I was just wondering what made you. Was there an instance, or is it just an overall observation that made you feel the need to put the two together? You know what I'm saying, and highlight the awareness, or the need for the awareness of the two together.
Absolutely. This conversation, I'm glad you asked that question. This conversation for me was based on us being fathers, number one,
Mm-hmm.
and there are so many sexual narratives being slain all over the place, from the internet, television, schools, media, everywhere you turn, they're pushing a sexual agenda on children.
Mm-hmm.
And I was raised as under the household of me, as for me in my house, right? So basically saying that in my house, I'm going to teach and do X, Y, Z. But that got me to thinking, right? We're all a community, especially on this podcast as men,
Mm-hmm.
and we all have families that we're raising. And it made me question, like, what are y'all teaching y'all families? Like, what do you teach as fathers and like and father figures? What is y'all stance about sexuality in 2023? Because it's a whole different conversation than when we were growing up. You know what I'm saying? The conversation has dramatically changed. So that's what I just wanted to open up. I wanted to hear, like, what are the conversation that you guys are having? And I know your children are young as well as mine,
Mm-hmm.
but seeing the climate that we're in, what are your viewpoints, and what are you looking to impart into your children? Because you have twin girls and a young king. So
Right, right. No, that's a great question. And what I do is I meet them where they are, and I let them show me, where they are, and then at that point, I'm able to see what they really know, and then talk to them on that level.
mhm.
Um, of course, with my son, I can relate a lot more. You know what I mean? Because I know exactly what he's going to go through, what he feels, what he thinks. Because I at one time was a boy his age. So we run into a couple of situations too where he's trying to find tablet info, stuff on the internet, and just and you handle it. I handle it um, stern, firm. You have to continue to make sure that they understand that this area of life is important. Um, and then they run into things that we can't control. Like you go out in the world and people are whoever they choose to be,
Right.
and children are going to observe and they're going to have questions, and at that time that's the time to address their question, and then inform them more, in my mind, in how I approach in my parenting, because I don't want to throw them into more than they may be ready for, but I don't also want to shy away from what they may be experiencing or informed of by way of anything, another child, the internet, television, a song, anything. So it's a very passive aggressive approach,
Hmm.
but it's got to be open communication. That's really the key. Like you make the environment where the communication can remain open, and once they feel comfortable to talk to you, then you can talk to them as well too. That's what
Absolutely.
I've learned.
Like, and I'm looking at this now, Swiss. Like, I know it's gonna come to a point where the questions are gonna come and all that, because as we've seen already, yo, all over social media, all over, thank you, baby girl, all over, like even on kids' YouTube, bro.
Hmm.
And like I gave my daughter her phone the other day, and they have the kids YouTube, right? They have the kids version of YouTube, and you can pretty much monitor what they watch and what they see on it. So I opened it, and it was, at first it looked very innocent, right? They would look like a little cartoon with little elephants, and it looked at first it looked legitimately innocent, but then it was the elephant like standing behind the other elephant,
Hmm.
and it was suggesting like that the trunk was going into the other elephant, and I'm like, what am I?
Hmm.
What am I watching right now? Like, more or less,
Hmm.
I need to take this from you right now, because should
Yeah.
you be watching this? Like, I'm looking at this now with my red flags up, and I'm saying to myself, well, man, it's not even so much so when they get older and have to be able to understand it, they're being subjected to it right now.
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
you can't combat something later. So my question is now, how do we combat what's going on everywhere, like subliminally too? Like, because they're making a lot of these shows, a lot of these kid shows for kids, but intentional for us to watch and enjoy. So there's so many sexual innuendos in these little movies and kid shows, because they know we watch them because the kids are watching them. So they're trying to entertain us, but they're really talking to our kids' subconscious. So what do y'all think about that?
Well,
Combating. You said,
yeah.
how do you combat? I think that it's um, a great approach to not necessarily try to combat, because that's kind of a lost fight, because you're just outnumbered by so many different, outlets and influences. I think the great approach is to inform them, you know what I mean, and make them aware, and so that they can be prepared
Mm-hmm.
and equipped, and not necessarily try to fight the battle for them, because that's a lost fight in your
Right.
hands. You know what I
Hell
mean? But
yeah.
you can educate the children and continue to reinforce that. You know what I mean? And test it and make sure that they know, and then they'll be equipped. You know what I mean? To go ahead and protect themselves, as much as they need to when you're not able to, do that for them. Because it's not something that we'll be able to, we all got away from it. You know what I'm saying? We all got away from it, and we found our way into, all of the things that we want to try to prevent our children from, until we think they're old enough. But everything always happens before, the time that we expect. So it's just my approach to best prepare and inform and equip from day one, and then whenever that day comes, they'll be able to combat it. I mean,
So, so can y'all hear me, man?
Yeah,
yeah.
we can now.
Okay, good, 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 good. Yeah, I'm like kind of challenged with technology since Rod say I'm so old. But anyway,
Mm,
uh, so this is what I think, man. These messages have been sent in cartoons for centuries, since cartoons been out.
Did we lose him?
Like for real, a long time. It's just the manner in which it's done now. If you look at old Woody Woodpecker, Tom and Jerry, all those cartoons, they
Hmm.
were not made for children. They were literally made for adults, right? Who were going to the theater and that was like their intermission cartoons. So if you go back and actually even YouTube them, like off of this, and go to an old Woody Woodpecker, Gorgeous Gal, you know, cartoon, that wasn't nothing for no kids, man. You know what Gorgeous Gal was trying to smash. You know what I'm saying? So you got to
Right,
realize that that's been going on. Now they made it, and she had this sensual voice. Hey, big boy. You know what I'm saying?
right.
And it's like, wait a minute, that's been going on. I said centuries, but damn, like the 20s and 30s, that's a long time.
Yeah, yeah,
So
absolutely.
that's damn near a century when you really think about it. Wow. So the sexualization has been going on. What's happened is now that we're more accepting with like LGBTQ and just even certain other things, people are really beginning to feel comfortable sharing more stuff, right, on social media and on our screens, thinking that, man, kids can digest it. So it's crazy how it's happening. Now, I love what the brother said about equipping the kids. That's cool. But along with equipping them, man, like you literally got to walk them lockstep these days through this stuff. Like certain things that they see and you see, you need to be sitting there right there with them, explaining it. You get
Mm,
what I'm saying? Like literally, like, oh my God, they don't need to see that at that age. They're young. No, you preparing them for real. Now I ain't talking about porn and crazy. You know what I'm saying? But you know what
right,
I'm
right,
saying, right? Like what you did with your daughter is amazing because you said the right word, taboo. Because taboo means it's something you don't touch. And especially if you're talking about some sexual, anything sexual with your children,
right,
that is like, you can't even, like what I just said might get struck off of YouTube. Like, that's
right.
how bad that is. So I understood when you said taboo. It is taboo. You can't even talk about that. So to even say that you sat there with your daughter and talked about a photograph that is questionable, that's huge. And I believe that's what all parents need to do. Like we have to be forthright and fight this war like on the front lines. You can't pussyfoot around, tippy toe, birds and bees stuff. You can't.
Right.
Now I'm not saying be raw and raunchy, but you gotta be real about it.
And yo, and now that brings me to the question because I actually should have started off with, um, where did y'all learn about sex? Like, and you know me, I'm a dig. So, and if I'm a digging anybody, I'm gonna start it up by being transparent. Um, to be honest, I learned through the porn and magazines and literally the squiggly lines of the TV back in the day. Remember that, y'all? The squiggly lines of the TV when you couldn't get
Dude, that
the
was. Did y'all have on TV when the line was in the middle
yes.
and you
No,
couldn't get? They put the line in the middle. That's on TV. Yeah,
a-
dog.
hey, and also I remember you didn't
Oh
have the channel.
wow, that's
You didn't have the
crazy.
channel, but if you turn the TV between the channels just right, you can see it enough where
Yeah,
you can see
like you could just see, like you could just see. Oh, well, we can't say what you saw, but you could see.
right, right. We can't say but y'all know what we're talking about. You can see
Yeah,
just
hey,
enough of
dude.
that thing, right, to
Hey,
get you
hey,
where you need to
Rod, I
be.
can't believe you bringing this up, dude. That's dope. I
Hey,
love it.
I'm
I
you know
love
me,
it.
E. I'm going in there right now.
I love it.
This is where I learned about sex, and this is the reason why I had so long between me understanding that the woman I'm having sex with is an individual with feelings, not just a piece of ass.
Ooh.
You understand? Like
Okay,
the
nah,
way
yeah,
I
that
learned
that
about
that.
sex.
Hey, man, slow down. Please say that again for the people in the back, please. Come on
Not,
now.
but for real,
That's a
like
good one.
there's no cap about that. Like because of the way I
Wow.
learned, because I sat there and tried to learn
Yeah.
about sexuality and what I like and what I think is good for me sexually through a squiggly screen and hiding behind the walls and trying to figure out how my own body works. it took me a long time to look at a woman and say to herself, oh, she's not just a piece of ass. Like, so this is why I'm asking this question, because our foundations and how we learned can't be the way we're teaching our kids about sex. We can't be walking around scared and fearful to talk about it because our parents were scared and fearful to talk about it, or they just wanted to shun it, or it was quote unquote taboo. And this is why I'm asking these questions, because I want to know, fellas, how did y'all learn about sex? What was your first encounter of learning about your sexuality?
Mm, I can't remember nothing before having sex. Well, losing my virginity. Actually, I do. The night that happened, there was a cartoon on. I'll never forget it. There was a cartoon on, and the
See, them
cartoon was like
cartoons
the.
bad, bro. Them
It was
cartoons
bad. It
bad.
was nah. It was terrible
Damn
because
Cartoons
yo,
cartoons.
bad, dog.
in the cartoon, it was this blonde looking bunny rabbit and a wolf. And the wolf ripped her shirt off, and she had like the perfect set of breasts. And I was like, "Yo, what is this
What the hell
cartoon
was you
like, yo?
watching?
Yo, I
Wait a
don't
minute.
know.
What cartoon was you
Roger
watching?
Rabbit.
I don't know. It looked like some Roger Rabbit spinoff,
It sound like it.
Roger Rabbit Late Night or something. Like
Damn.
I
Roger
promise
Rabbit
you,
on
Damn,
what's that? Showtime, right?
yo, it
hey,
was on
dog,
something.
can you give me the link to that? No, I'm just kidding. That sounds
Yo,
interesting.
that's all I remember. I promise you, that's the only thing I remember. And the next thing I remember was losing the virginity. It was at 10. It was 10 years old, bro. I
Dude,
promise you, it was like the
dude,
same night. The same night.
dude,
I remember that
dude.
cartoon,
Them
and then that
videos,
happened.
I'm telling you. Yeah,
Yo,
bro.
That's
yo,
what's insane.
Wow.
yo,
Yeah.
That's
Swiss, 10
crazy.
years old. I just heard, yo, Eric, did you hear what you just said just now? It just hit me. 10 years
Mm-hmm.
old,
Dude,
Swiss?
Mm-hmm.
I was just getting my first erection at 10. Like
Mm-hmm.
really understand, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Mm-hmm.
you just start doing that like right around then. Damn,
So,
man.
yeah,
Yeah,
so
it's
like, you know
crazy.
about the Swiss, you know about the dig, bro. So,
Yeah, that
like,
was that was that was
if
insane.
if ever just tell me to shut up and I'll keep moving on, but
All
I
right.
gotta ask.
He
Go ahead,
ain't
do your
gonna
thing.
move on. He gonna keep digging. He annoying like
Mhm.
that. Get out of here.
I
I don't know
already
why you
know.
even said that. Right.
I know
Yo,
this dude a
You
long
yo,
got to
time.
Swiss,
know this dude.
but
I,
yo,
I know this guy a
like
long time.
what did it do, bro? Like what did that, like at that early of an age, and especially now as a man with kids, bro? What does that do for you, the way you teach? And like I said you earlier, you said you wanted to inform them. Is that passion of informing them and not trying to battle it because of you learned early? Do you think that has any effect?
Um, no, I didn't learn early. I learned
Mm,
late.
that's a great question.
I
That's an
learned late,
amazing question.
Mm,
and it is
That's a great
because
question.
um the approach that I have is very much because of how I learned. Like I said, I learned late, right? Real talk. I'm gonna keep it all the way 1,000. 26 years, like from that day, 26 years. I lived my life like on the inside, like I felt like I was worthless, just
mm,
worthless. Like on the outside, I could put up a
Wow.
good facade, real good facade, smile, talented. We was out. You thought you know what it was. We was out there moving, moving and shaking. We was doing, you couldn't really look and tell on the inside. I was kind of dead because
Wow.
as a child, I picked up an adult's secret and I carried it. You know what I mean? So I
mm.
became kind of an adult at
Shit.
10, right? And then things just consecutively happened. But what I never noticed was that every one of my sexual encounters were basically the same way that I lost my virginity, which was it was nothing. Like I was 10, she was 11. The next day, just went back outside like a regular summer day. Looked for the kids in the neighborhood. There was nobody outside. I guess I came out too early. It was just me and the birds chirping and the sun, and I'm just standing there. Like it was just nothing. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't like we was grown. We went on no dates and woke up together in the morning. So every time for the next 20 something years, it was pretty much after sex. It's nothing. Just
Mm,
nothing, right? But I didn't realize that, like you said, Doc, it was a complete opposite. Like it wasn't that they was a piece of meat. I didn't know that I wasn't. You see what I'm saying?
Wow.
So I'm subconsciously
Wow.
living like, oh, I'm just a piece of, whatever. This is whatever because that was how it was, right? She didn't do nothing. We wasn't nothing after that. I didn't do nothing for her. She didn't do nothing. I'm not, And then I started to realize, dang, I couldn't have been the first time for her, even though she was the first time for me. So then it even made me feel smaller. Like, damn,
Wow.
like, So
Like I ain't
for
nothing.
20
Like
something
I'm not
years.
Right.
nothing.
You see what I'm saying? So
Yeah,
for 20 something years,
yeah.
like it was crazy. Like one of my best friends really is my son's mom, right? And we
Yeah.
got to know each other in a very unique way, but over the years, as after she got to learn me and she realized, oh man, now I understand why you move the way you move, because you don't move like the average dude move. You kind of move like the average female would move when it comes down to sex. And it was like, yeah, bro,
Wow.
that's
Wow.
how I
That's an
felt.
advantage though.
Ooh.
See, people don't realize that's a secret advantage. That's like, woo, that's you just dropped the key. I hope brothers was listening. I hope they was listening. People don't go, them women don't go for that machismo goofiness. If you flow with them the way that you just said, wow. So that 10 years old taught you something, bro. For real.
It did something. It did
And you know,
something. I
Man.
don't know. I don't know how. I mean, I don't know how much good it's done. It did,
I
can't
was
be
I was
all
just about to say
bad,
the
but
same
I
thing,
don't know how
Swiss.
much good it's done.
Nah, but there's duality, and there's
But
if but
Hmm.
right,
for the
that's
same
where I was
amount of
going,
good,
Rod.
there's gonna
Go
be
ahead, Rod.
bad,
Yep.
right? So there's
Yes.
gonna be the
Yes.
same amount of good, there's gonna be bad. But my thing is this, and I want this to be known. Like I want people to take this note. Yo, a child doesn't know their worth until you give it to them. And if you don't give it to them, they'll never have it. So what I just got from Swiss's stories, I asked him, when's the first time you learned about sex? Swiss first thought went to his first time having sex. There was no conversation.
Oh, come on, man.
There was no sit back down conversation going back and forth learning about this. It was just like manhood for most of us men was throw right into a fire. Do you
Hmm.
see what I'm saying? Like we can't keep this up because we're literally going to repeat a cycle. Now, yes, for every
Yeah.
good thing that Swiss learned about life and how to operate around women and help them and be kind and gentle towards them and all those things. For every good side, like we said earlier, it was some bad downsides to it. And this man just finished sitting here just saying on the podcast that it cost him from knowing his own value and worth for 26 years.
That's crazy.
Fact.
Because you were just literally giving your body away because it was like, yo, it's nothing.
I didn't even acknowledge it. Real talk. It was less than nothing. It was nothing. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
You don't acknowledge nothing.
Right.
So it was just I would just make sure they was straight. Like every female, that run into me, they're gonna it's gonna be, the story gonna be fine. But me,
Mm.
I'm looking at myself every trip, like, it's like that fake smile, like, yeah, you did something, like, bro, you're in the background, the other nigga, like, yo, nigga, you're not feeling yourself right now, bro. Like, come on, you gotta stop that, you gotta
Right.
stop,
It's
you gotta
like it's
stop.
like it's like fake cat is cat for real.
Yeah,
Like
Yeah.
yeah,
you really, yeah.
yeah, yeah,
Damn,
yeah,
man.
yeah, 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 yeah.
Yo,
So
Wow, that's
let me
crazy.
let me ask you, E. Like, and I'm gonna give you a little shit because you a little old head. So if you can remember back that far.
Oh Lord, shut up, Rollo. Fucking Rollo. Oh, excuse me. I'm sorry. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, YouTube. I'm
Yeah,
sorry. I
yeah.
didn't mean
Please boot him.
YouTube.
Don't boot me, YouTube. But yo, E, for real though, bro. Like, what was your learning experience about? Like, what was your experience, your first encounter with sexuality and learning about it? No, we might have lost him. He's on a move right now. Yeah, we lost him again.
mhm.
But bro, like when I hear your story, Swiss, and it just reminds me of like myself. Like my mother just told me I better not have sex and get nobody pregnant. That was it.
Mm.
It wasn't how, what do you do, the value in it, why you should do it, when is the appropriate time to do it, what do you feel towards a person you should do it with. Like, it was none of those conversations. It was simply, don't do it. If you do it, you're gonna get a girl pregnant and you're gonna take care of your responsibilities.
Nah, son. When I tell you it was so bad for me, like I would try to approach my mom, right, with and try to like kind of test the water, but to try to have some sort of conversation, and like she would never, whatever, right,
Mm.
never catch on. Or one time I spoke to her about having a girlfriend. She like, you can have a girlfriend when you're 16. I'm like, yo, she don't even know.
You've been smashing.
Oh, we lost him.
Yeah, I'm back. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I got you. E. Wait, switch you there.
Yeah, I'm back.
There you go.
My phone is just doing some crazy shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, so then and then she would like when I got old enough to speak about it and we spoke, which was like I said, 20 plus years later, like within the last 2 years. I'm talking like that old.
Wow.
After my kids is well speaking and walking and going to school and everything, you know what I mean? Like we just had the conversation, and she would say, "Oh, I thought just because I sent you out of church that somebody there you'll learn this." And I'm like, yo, you know what I was doing to them girls at church? Like
Wow.
at church, you gonna send me? You just gonna send me there and I not not be with me? Not you, so you don't even know. You thought the Lord was just gonna pull up like, yo, nah, don't, nah.
Hey, dog.
You know what I'm saying?
Dog,
I'm like, this
that's
was crazy.
hilarious. Are you
That's
kidding me right
crazy.
now?
Like,
Are you? I mean, I'm sorry. I almost got. That's why they cut my mic before, cause I cuss. I ain't cussing no more. You almost
yo,
made me cuss again,
yo, go
man.
ahead, bro. Go ahead. Do what
Yo,
you
Dude,
makes you
dude,
yo,
this dude,
comfortable,
Swizz.
fam.
this
Yo,
dude got
Swizz is
My
my
so
nigga,
stupid.
hey,
you know the vibe, bro. Like
Rod, I'm about to cuss him out. Like, what the? You know
it
what I'm saying? Like, dude, you
was
can't be doing
terrible.
that,
It
dog.
was terrible.
I'm
Like
trying to, I'm
and
trying to keep a good name on
was
YouTube. You can't do that.
the thing about it was that what's even worse than anything is I felt how I felt, right? So I
Yeah.
never put myself in a place of rejection. I'm not opening myself up to rejection. So I never go holla at women and
Right.
nothing like that. Like I play what comes to me, or if you catch, what I'm saying, something, then I'll be like, all right. But when we was younger, them little fast girls, they was fast. They was just, I guess I was handsome. I didn't even know I was handsome. So I was just handsome at church.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Just lucky.
Right.
Not knowing, and trying to catch everything that came my way, but looking like I wasn't, what I'm saying, and doing a damn good job at it because I knew inside this is not right, but it feels right. I think I'm handling this right. I'm not getting caught or in trouble. Nobody mad at me. No, da 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 da. Da. So let me do this. 20 something years later, can't be right. Can't be right. Can't be right. You need a therapist.
Okay. Hey, bro, but see the coolest thing about what you said. So let me go ahead and go in with mine because it's really a lot like yours, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because the thing about me, man, was I so my mom was working all the time. You
Mm-hmm.
feel me? So it was just me and my brother there. So all my imaginations came from it was like not really family members, but friends of the family. You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So like it'll be like my cousins, but it'll be my cousin's friend. You see what I'm saying? Like we was
Mm-hmm.
around them, and then the just the conversations and the innuendo would come up, and then finally, man, it'd be like two people trying to experiment something. So it
Mm-hmm.
was never like a preparation. It was never a talk. It was never an understanding of anything. My stuff came straight from exploration. Now,
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't quite 10. I was more
Mm-hmm.
like 14.
Mm-hmm.
I was 14 and didn't know nothing, didn't know what was going on, whatever.
Phone is
But what's so
bugging.
wild is, but what's so wild is I turned to that every time something was off. I turned to that as the thing that would like kind of pacify me when stuff was wrong. You feel what I'm saying?
Right.
And it because it was euphoric, right? It felt so good, but I didn't understand the good feeling.
Mm-hmm.
So now
Mm.
so now that I don't understand the good feeling, I am subject to abuse it, because we all know what Miles Monroe said. When you don't understand the purpose of a thing,
You're prone to
you will
abuse it.
ultimately, yes, you will abuse it. So,
Right.
so, so this is what I really want to drive home with people. The feeling isn't bad. The feeling was created by God for us to do that and procreate the earth. So that's not bad. What's bad is not understanding the feeling.
Right.
And that's how most stuff is on the earth. That's how most stuff really is. We just don't understand it. So now we abuse it and use it for the wrong reasons. So that's what I have been doing for years, man. Like, if I felt rejection from my mom, man, the next girl gonna get it. You know, if I have a bad game and this and that, okay, I need to have somebody rub on me and make me feel good. You know what I'm saying? And I associated that feeling with comfort,
Mm,
which was really something that I never got from my mom. You see what I'm saying? So I was seeking it other places in the
right.
feminine touch, if that makes sense.
Absolutely. And for real, like that, that's the reason why I was as promiscuous as I was growing up. It wasn't like I was just, oh, I wanted to have sex as many women as I possibly could, but that became the game after I realized that's what my drug was, right? Like whenever, like you said, I didn't know the value of what I was giving away. So I thought to myself, in order for me to feel good physically, right, I got to go get between some legs, not knowing that every time I do that, I'm giving more of my value away, right? Like the life force that God has blessed me with. You understand? Like, and especially at those times, if we can sit here and YouTube will allow us to be this raw, but yo, how many times did we jack off? Like, how many times did we just randomly have sex with a girl and just shoot it in a condom and leave it somewhere? That's the life force that we should be protecting with our lives. But there's no conversation to teach us the value of that.
Mm-hmm.
There was no conversation saying, hey, you know what, young king, there's life inside of you. That substance that you're looking just to spill, there's a force of life in there. And the crazy thing about it is, like, we don't even teach our young men the value of resources, and we want them to be resourceful, right? We expect our young men to grow up and be able to be resourceful and go use their resources, but the truth of the matter is we don't even teach them to maintain the most valuable resource that there is, because we're too scared to talk about it. We're too scared to talk about masturbation and sexuality and things of that nature. But the truth is, if I've learned, if we don't talk about it, we just gonna lose in the race because everybody else is. And like in my household, Swiss, like you already know how I talk regularly. Like YouTube won't let me talk how I really want to talk. But in my household, we're not holding no punches. Because shout out to Sharon, she didn't hold none with me. So I feel like, yeah, I'm gonna expose you to age experience level, but at the same time, like you said earlier, I used the wrong word about combating, because it's a fight we can't fight. It's something we can't combat. We just have to literally make them aware of and move through life and I have understanding. Now, Swiss, my question for you, the next question I have for you guys was tonight was the way you learned about sex. Would you approve that for either your son or your daughter to learn?
I don't know. I don't know.
Hey,
What?
yo, I'm laughing man hard knees because I got so excited about the conversation. I'm asking the questions and the order of the questions all out of order right now.
I don't know. That's
Word, man.
that's
Switch
that's
has been
easy
saying like
breezy.
y'all learned at 10 years old. That shit was not
Ah,
cool. And here I
ah,
am. Next question.
ah.
Yo, Switch, would you want your daughter and your son to learn?
Nah, nah. No, sir. I wouldn't
Oh,
want. I don't want that on nobody.
listen.
Real talk. Yo. So I went and hollered at Shorty. The 11-year-old. A couple of years later. You know what I'm saying? A bunch
Oh,
of years
okay,
later.
okay.
Like,
You
yo,
want to double back? Like, yo, listen.
nah. I had to like, yo, listen. Do you remember that way back then? She was,
Right.
yeah. I'm like, did that did that did that do anything to you? Like you straight? You all right? Yeah. All right. All right. Oh, okay. All right. In my mind, I'm like, oh my god, like, yo, 20 years later, I'm still now. I'm really still out here. Like, yo, shorty still straight. Like, what was you doing at 11 that you straight? Like, bro, like, I really want to know. Like, yo, how long? Yo, yo, like, what happened? Like, something happened to you? Like, something happened to you? Because yo, you shouldn't have been straight. Like, that shouldn't have been you. Yo, like,
What happened in
who
your life in the
introduced
last
you
20?
to that? Like, who introduced you to that before you started introducing other people to that at
Right.
11, D? You know what I'm saying? Like, and you straight? Are you really straight? Like, you good? Wow.
And let me say this too, like, to anyone out there, like, we are laughing, we having fun with this because it just hit me in my head. Like, if you are triggered by this conversation, we're not trying to trigger you. Um, I'm not gonna say I apologize because it's a conversation that needs to be had. Right? We can't sit here and make pretend like sex is not a feeling that every last young boy and little girl is going to feel. They're going to feel stimulated, but we have to express to them, like Eric said earlier, we have to explain to them what that feeling's about. So I just wanted to say that really quick because yes, we are having fun as we always do on this platform, even with the hardest topics. But I just wanted to say, like, if you are triggered, I please understand that we're having this and we're lightening the conversation on purpose because this is a heavy conversation. But everything that's heavy doesn't have to always be so serious. So I said that just now for the people who might not understand our humor on this platform and you check us out for the first time. But if you are, like, comment, and subscribe to the podcast because it definitely helps us with the algorithm. We
That was good,
greatly
huh?
appreciate that.
That was good. You set that up nice.
Oh yeah, your knees. Listen, we've been working a little bit.
You've been doing your thing. I see you. I see you. I see you. I went back and saw them first episodes. I said, hey,
Yo, listen.
you're
Yo,
doing
listen.
good
Hey,
now.
you know what? We could pause right now for that
You're
too.
doing
Yo,
good
listen.
now.
And I said, welcome home, Swiss, because for people who are just now coming on to the podcast since I would say the last few months or maybe in the last year, Swiss and I started podcasting together about 3 years ago. Shout out to the Start Now podcast. That is where it all began at on Instagram. And actually, some episodes somewhere around the world, if you look it up, you might find it somewhere. I'm not going to tell you where to look, but just
Yes,
look at it.
sir. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And if you look back at those episodes and you
Yeah.
see now, come now to so from then till now,
Man.
man,
Man.
we've come a long way,
Yeah.
man. So this is
Yeah.
like nostalgia right now, dude.
Yeah. 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 It really is. It really is. It
And then
really is.
and it ain't fraudulent either, baby.
You listen. It's 2023, and the direction that we going, like, you know what I'm saying? Just
Oh,
don't
we gonna
like,
leave it there. We gonna leave it there.
just don't do that. Don't start.
Oh man,
Don't
we
start.
got we going in a new direction. But
Mm-hmm.
yo, but right now, I my little girl is 6 years old, and her innocence is what I have to not only protect, but I have to remember.
Mm-hmm.
So she's listening to a lot of music these days, right? Like a lot of dance music because she's in dance school now and all those things. So the song that she's hearing in dance school, obviously she wants to come home and hear, but there are a lot of these songs are accompanied with videos. And for some reason or another, I haven't really understood this from the time of rewatching videos, but the songs don't even like the videos and the songs don't even go together. So I have to find myself watching what she watches on the YouTube and the music first. And I was watching her dance the other day, and like her movements were provocative, right? Like the way she was moving and contorting her body, but her innocence, she doesn't even know what she's doing, right? She's not aware that that's provocative. She just says as a dance move. So I was about to, hey, girl, if you don't, but I had to catch myself and say, yes, I gotta protect her innocence, but I also gotta remember and respect it that I can't put it on her that she's innocent. Her thought process is not, oh, let me be provocative. It's a
Right.
dance move that she wants to emulate.
Mm-hmm.
And
That's something that
that
you know.
innocence right there, right? Her innocence, I have to protect it even from my corruptness that we already know from the world.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, yo, if I'm going through this, I know you got to be dealing with it too, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Mm-hmm.
how do we do that? Like what do we how do first of all, how do we protect ourselves, right? Because when I see my little girl cocking her little hip, putting her little hand up knees, I was like, no, 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 no. Like, but the truth is, I'm like, she's just dancing. Like she's not doing nothing wrong. But
Mm-hmm.
because of what we see in the world and we have how we've been raised and all those things, we make it right. We taint it. But the truth of the matter is their innocence. So now my question for you is how do you keep that innocence? How do you protect that on your side?
Well, um, it's a unique situation in my life. My son and my daughters have different moms. My daughter's mom, of course, she has girls. My son's mom has a boy, so it would be more difficult for her to do what I need to do. So it
Right.
makes it easier for me to do it. He has older siblings, so the difficulty comes where there, you just can't, you cannot not have what goes on in the environment in home. You see what I'm
Right.
saying? So if you have older siblings, the younger siblings are going to pick up, they're going to hear music, they're going to, that's just, it is what it is.
Right.
And that's just innocent in itself. You know what I'm saying? Even though the content may be something that the older ones can digest,
Mhm.
the dynamic of them crossing paths in the house and everything is organic. That's
Right.
natural. That's
It's gonna
innocent. You
happen.
know what I'm
Right.
saying? It's going to happen. So for me, um, the little guy is forced to see things that are already outside, inside more. You know what I mean?
Right.
And then on top of YouTube, then little kids, you know what I mean, and friends and everything like that, the regular stuff, it's a lot. So what I do is I keep it 1,000, you know what I mean, and let them know, at a level, right, at
Right.
a level of understanding, um that these things are natural. What you feel, what you're interested in is natural, right? It's called a temptation. And you have to learn how to recognize that, because that's something that you want to go away from. So right now we're at that point in life where he's understanding these things that pop up in your mind, or that you feel something in your heart or your body, is often recognized as a temptation. And most times those things you just get away from. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
that is where he's at with his understanding with it right now. Um and it's been working, because it doesn't really get any more simple than that. Like, I was just thinking for myself, like, damn, how did I figure out how to tell him that? Because if
Thank
I think
God.
about that for myself, like, what excuse do I have for any of the bullshit that I do or indulge in, or choose, that's off the path of what is not a temptation, or a
Right.
distraction or whatever. You know what I mean? When you can break it down in the simplest form for a child, you have no excuse for yourself. And so for me, it's so much more of a opportunity to relive a right a right life, like, in myself, not try to portray my life on my child,
Mhm.
but to see that he's at the place where I was at, where I wished I was, what I mean,
Guided at.
different,
Yeah.
guided,
Right.
so I can recognize that for myself right now, to recognize, hey, you still need guidance. You still, and if you had guidance or you moved in that, you would be better. So you just have a 20-year head start on that understanding. So apply that understanding right now and move in your guidance or whatever, and you will actually be an example for what you're trying to tell this child to do. You see what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Because you can tell them everything, but if you don't show them,
Right.
they don't see, then it's what they see and they hear that they're really taking in, but it's the seeing more, you know what I'm saying? So
Absolutely.
they have to see it. So it helps me to be able to give him something to emulate, and just feed it to him, at his level as he shows me, you know, what level he's at. And with the girls, um, girls are different, you know. So right now, my guy is my bigger concern as far as in that area. The
Mm-hmm.
innocence is man, he thinks he's me, you know, like he really wants to be a single dad with kids. I'm like, yo, chill,
That's
chill.
not the
Like
vibe.
you gotta, you know, he
That
wants to
is
do
not the vibe.
everything that I've done, you know, and I have
But
to
yo,
teach
Swiss,
him,
hold on.
you know, that's
That's
not
right
what's up.
there. Is we gotta unpack that right there, bro. Because we always unpack it in the way of saying a single family home is not the way that women should raise children. But we also got to flip that on the opposite side, and that's a man shouldn't be by himself raising a house. And like, it's awesome that your child wants to emulate you. Let's stop and say that right now. Like, we're not gonna let that water go over that bridge and just make it seem like you didn't. That's major. He wants to be like his dad. That means he's celebrating you. He wants to emulate you because he likes what he sees. Now, the picture and the thought process, you got to explain to him. No, we don't. You don't want to be a single dad. Like, you know, you don't want the smoke, boy. You know what I mean? Like, and I'm saying that because me and you talked, but I'm saying that more so because I'm not a single father, and it's tough for me. I got a loving wife that she's more that I tell you, man, you need you one. Like you need you a Cassie. That's been my slogan since I met the child because she's perfect for me. But even with her being that for me, bro, like some days I just don't want to be a daddy. You know what I'm saying? Some days I just don't feel like it. Like I'm not in the mood, or it's too much at that moment. I got too much going on. So when I feel like there's too much, I know that there's a ram in a bush per se. There's a helping hand somewhere that's gonna come in, swoop in, and say, you know what, step away for a second. But for the men and the women that don't have that outlet, this is why we gotta remind our sons and our daughters, you don't want to shoot to be single. This is not this narrative that the world is putting forth, and this single family homes. That's not how it was intended to be, and we can't let that be the narrative.
Mm-hmm.
Because you don't want your son dealing with the stress and the pressures that you're dealing with currently, or you've dealt with in the last few months. Because that's what scares me sometimes. So it's like, what are our kids gonna call us and tell us when it's that time? You know what I'm saying? Like, Daddy, let me tell you X Y Z. Oh shit. You know what I'm saying? like, what's gonna be that? Oh shoot, phone call. And that's why for real, like I think it's important for us to have these conversations, bro. Like,
Mm-hmm.
and be real about it. Like, yo, little man, when little man down in your pants start and standing up, it's okay to have that feeling. It comes from a certain place, right? And it also come with the discipline talk too. Just because it stand up, that don't mean you got to make it lay down, fellas. Even the old heads, don't let that one go over your head. No pun intended either. Just because it stood up doesn't mean you have to make it lay down. If I'd have learned that early in life, I could probably tell you I'd probably be a multi-millionaire right now. If there was somebody telling me that about the very thing we're having a conversation about right now, about learning how much value that's inside of our scrotum as men, like if someone would have took the time to break down what it actually is, probably wouldn't been so much as so easy just to spread it around and spray around with it. You know, yo, Swiss, you know how much energy that provides?
A ton.
Yo, yo, as a married man, Like I've did a test, right? Like I've been as a married man, I can do the test. Like one day I said to myself, we're gonna partake in adult activities. And I want to see how I felt, right? Throughout the day, I was okay, but I didn't have my normal pop energy. I didn't have my normal go, get up and move, get this thing done. My normal doc energy, right? I didn't have that normal boom boom.
Mm-hmm.
Nah, it was more so, yeah, yo, I'm here, I'm good. You know what I mean? I'm in the building. What's up? That's real ginger, like real laid back. But
Ginger.
Neen, yeah, I knew you was gonna let that one rock. I knew you was gonna let Ginger rock. Okay, yo. But the very next day, Neen, and I was like, nah, I'm just gonna get up and just go. We're not gonna have any activities. I'm popping around, I'm moving around, I'm flying around. I'm like, I got so much productivity done that day. I got so much work done. Yo, nobody told me how much energy is in this stuff, man. like, and I had no clue. And now here I am as an adult. I'm thinking about all those times I was bored, smacking off. Like, like how many times did I waste energy? Like, just wasting energy. Yo, young kings out there,
Save your energy.
save your energy. Don't let them lie to you. You won't go blind. I haven't met anybody who's beat their meat till they went blind. I haven't. But
Yo.
yo,
Yo.
just save
Yo,
your
yo,
energy.
yo,
You're gonna
yo.
need it later, okay? You're
You
gonna
gotta
need it.
stop. You gotta stop.
Okay. Nah, but like in all seriousness, like I said before, we are making fun of it. But in all seriousness, fellas, like you can't be a responsible individual if you're not being responsible with the resources that God has given you. And one of those resources is your semen. And if you don't know, go look it up. Sexual transmutation,
Mm-hmm.
where you can literally use your sexual energy and change that energy and to make it something else. Simple way to do it. And I'm living proof of it. And I know it to work. It doesn't feel good. It's not comfortable, but it works. And what it is simply is a cold shower. Whenever you find your demon time, and like men, you know what I'm talking about. For me, I'm a morning guy. Is when I'm just that's my demon hour, my in the morning hours. So what I do is I take a cold shower, submerge myself in that cold water. Guarantee you, when you finish, you're not gonna have that same urge to want to do what you want to do what you do, and that energy that you just had that you wanted to do, what you wanted to do with, you can now apply to something else, like going to work out, like going to actually do something physical or get something actually done that's productive that you need to get done, that you've been saying you're going to do for weeks and months and you haven't even attempted to get started. That's when that energy will kick in and be effective and you'll be able to use it efficiently. And I'm not telling y'all something that I'm not hiccup E. I'm not telling y'all something that literally that I haven't applied. And I'm like I'm on this podcast being transparent. You were looking at an individual even within the last 10 years of me. I've been married for the last 8 and been my wife for the last 16 years. But you're looking at a man what I would say maybe about 5 years ago who was an avid masturbator because I still wasn't taking into consideration of what the life force in me could do because I didn't respect it. And then I was wondering why my finances was always messed up. I was wondering why I couldn't seem to keep relationships and all kind of resources that I was trying to get. It would slip through my fingers. It's because I wasn't respecting the one resource that God gave me, was which my physical body is my semen. It's the life force that God has given every man. And if you're wondering why your life is messed up, it's because you are here tugging on yourself, not respecting the life force that God has gave you. So I don't know who that's for. If the shoe is for you, wear it. You by yourself right now. If you're feeling attacked, it's okay because you by yourself. Just fix it. Why can I talk this way? Why can I be this real? Because I'm not affected by it no more. See,
Hey man,
somebody, what's up, E?
dang man, I finally get back, and this the part you talking about. Like, dang man, like with lag man, I was coming. We was joking when I left, man. Like, dang man, we had like, dude, like what? Oh my god! Then the first word I hear when I come back on masturbation, I'm like, oh man, where did this conversation go? Like what? Oh wow! Like, look, I sat up straight in the chair while I was driving. Like, oh, how do I get in on this conversation? This is different.
Nah, I'm gonna
Like,
tell you why. E,
what
and
do you say? Like, you know what I'm
me and you
saying?
talked about this before, E, offline. But like
Maybe.
the respecting of the resources. You shut
I
up,
don't
fool.
know, dog. I can't.
Said
I'm
maybe.
trying. I can't recall the conversation at hand. No, go ahead, man. Go ahead, brother.
Nah. But seriously though, like it's about we can't respect a physical
Mhm.
resource, right? We can't respect resources if we're not respecting the one God has given us within our body that gives life.
That's true.
You
That's
know what I'm
very true.
saying?
I agree with that 1,000%. Actually, like without joking and stuff, I'm just feeling good tonight, man. It's a good night, but you know, uh, and I know I said this a long time ago in this conversation. Again, when you don't just understand the purpose of a thing, you're going to abuse it. And the thing about it is also when you don't understand the purpose of a thing, you don't know when something is abuse.
Right.
You have no idea. So now in this world that we live in, uh, actually, masturbation and things of that nature are looked upon as, hey, it's cool. It's all right to do that. It's all right to believe yourself. That's how you find out about yourself. That's how you find your identity. That's how you know what you like and all these different things. But there's also another side to that, right? That, what I'm saying, is very deep. It's very emotional. It's very intimate, right?
Mhm. Right.
And it's a connection that you make with yourself, man, that could really be deadly, addictive, right? And can knock you off your square with everything else in your life. And you say, man, how could just, tugging on my stuff or just, rubbing on myself gently, if any women are watching, I'm quite sure if you are, how is that going to knock me off my square? Well, I'm telling you, you can get so intimate with yourself that you don't engage with others well,
Mm.
that when you begin to try to have any sexual relations with anyone else, that's going to mess you up too. So these are all things we have to think about. But in this society, it's like, I mean, man, people even tell you, hey man, you need to, just get one out real quick before you get over our house, man. Just go ahead. You heard that before. Yeah,
I
get
done
that
did it
first one
before.
out. Right,
I
get
done
that
did it
first one
before.
out before you get over a girl. Like, it's been made like a natural, normal thing, man.
Right.
And really what it does is it warps our minds. It twists our minds. Like the word wicked means twisted, like wicker furniture. So what it does is it twists the actual purpose of what it is. And again, when you don't understand it, you're going to abuse something as beautiful as sexuality. And that's why we have to explain that to our children at a very, very young age in a specific way.
And yo, E, and like you got three kings now who are adults now, bro. But like when it was when it was that time for them in that age and phase, like how was that? Like what was your approach to it?
I mean, dude, that was in the streets, dude. My sons grew up in the streets. So, I mean, they might have been talking about it before I even talked to them.
Right.
In the way my household was, because I would show them different things, and I never hid anything because we had boys, so you got to know how to use that thing. You got to know responsibility. So it was different. Now, if it was a girl, it might have been different, but their mom was trying to be fantasy with them.
Mm,
Me, I was like, dude, strap up. I
right.
know what's going on. If that girl touch you a certain way, if she whisper in that ear, she touched the back of that neck the right way, you going.
Right.
You going. So I taught my boys that, but you know what? Even sometimes in the midst of teaching, that personal lesson that our children have to learn, which we try so hard to have them avoid, it is unavoidable. And we're giving all these tips on how to, kind of make things better. But then also, I think we need to talk about like what happens if you miss that. You know what I'm saying? Like you missed that, or you didn't talk about that, and
Right.
you're dealing with it now. I think that would be a good subject to talk about as well.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. No, that's that. You might even segue into another episode, bro, because we we kind of seen that in firsthand and a prior client about
Yes,
how
yes,
if you don't do the work, then how it could cause you to try to compensate at a detriment later on. So
exactly, brother.
you hit that
Exactly.
on a very very powerful point that's really something that a lot of people are living through, and to be honest, they don't even know it. Like the
They
the
don't
the,
know.
the
They
children that are
don't know.
living through that, which are now the adults that are living through that, don't even know that that's what they're living through.
Hey, Rod. Right now, young people are taking medicine for erectile dysfunction, bro. Children, teenagers,
Wow.
20-year-olds, people in their church, they're like, you just can't get like there's studies of like young people who can't get it up. And you're like, wait a minute, something's going on. There's something in the food. No, it's something in your mind, in your spirit, in your soul.
Right.
And
Right.
now that like sex has been become so like normalized and easy to see, there is no excitement anymore.
No.
So now it's like right at the drop of a couple of keys on my keyboard, or just touching something on my phone, I'm seeing what I think I want,
Right.
and you really not, bro. And then we need to kind of talk about like when you don't talk about these things with your children, and if you haven't, then hey, let us help you because that is the purpose of what you do, bro. That's see, this is one of the biggest confidence stealers. It's so wild. Like this
Yeah.
is made like you got confidence when you got a bunch of women. But in all actuality, it's just the opposite. It's showing that you have absolutely none.
Absolutely none. and
Yeah.
and we about to get out of here because we over the hour mark. But
I know, man. I come in like I'm fresh and stuff. Like, come on, man, tag me in, coach. Tag me in, coach. Come on, come
nah,
on,
you
come on.
you gonna save your legs for the next game, Negro.
Hey, man. Hey, man. First of all, I want to apologize to everyone because I was in and out. This is no reflection on how dope my man show is, and I want to say personally, Rod, thank you for coming back, uh, and just thank you for giving me a forum where I could really express myself, man. Because I've had opportunities to be with a lot of people, bro. Um, and I'm not saying I'm all that. I'm just saying God is all that. He's given me some amazing opportunities, but I feel that I'm blessed to be with the imperfect gentleman because I understand what imperfect gentleman means, and I understand like the people that's gonna touch it. It's gonna touch real people, bro. Not these plastic people that are trying to be something that they're not. But you're reaching them right at the core of their identity, man. And I really appreciate you for this. I know you've went through some crazy stuff, man, over the last 6 to 8 months. But I just want to tell you this in front of everyone that this last 6 to 8 months was there already pre-laid, pre-made, and pre-planned by God, so that now you can come into this new season ready, bro. Because if what you went through that last 6 to 8 months didn't get you ready, nothing ever will. And I
Right.
love you. I
Nah,
love
man.
you with all my heart. And I'm cussing you out tomorrow morning when I call you.
Yeah, I love you too, big homie, man. It means a lot, man, because to God be the glory, but it's been a hell of a few months, man, and
I know,
I
man.
am stronger. I am wiser, and I'm motivated and I'm driven to keep going. So it feels good to be back.
Yeah,
We
man.
won't. I promise you, I won't leave y'all with that much longer, that much time between the next episode. I won't leave you without a dope pod to step to. You dig what I'm saying? So we're back in these streets podcasting. We got good episodes coming out. Look for us. Like, comment, and subscribe, and share this out there. Don't have no selfish, stingy energy, right? Don't have all this good podcasting and don't tell nobody else about it. Especially to the men in your life, to the fathers, and especially to the new fathers that are looking to become husbands and step into fatherhood. This is the kind of podcast that I wish I had before I said yes, and I do. Before I said that I wanted to create a family, I wish that there was something that I could listen to that can inspire me, help me, and motivate me to be a better version of myself. And not just me, but for the people that are behind me and who have committed their lives to my leadership. So,
Hey
once
man,
again,
wait, stop, man. You can't just be coming on eloquent. Yes, and I just feel that the world is would be a better place if I just do this, and I just really will feel that the considerableness of the like, wow, dude, like that was so like dope. I just missed those runs. They were so amazing.
yeah, I can't stand this Negro, y'all. Y'all hear me?
Don't get me all serious and stuff. Yes,
Yeah,
and I just
I'm
feel
trying to
that.
end the podcast. You know what I mean? Doing it the right way. Trying to end it like
Don't
it.
be all serious and like I'm gonna end on a serious note. Like, dude, what you gonna put some music at the end? Like,
Yeah, I was trying to get the edits right, but obviously you're not gonna let me leave here
like,
on those
like
smooth vibe tonight.
some violins or something. Like, come on, dog. Like, it's the new year. It's a new vibe, baby. Like, we ain't going with that. Like, man, I feel like I'm watching the Young and Restless. Yes, we just feel that. We just feel that the considerableness of the world is shaking out of control, and we just need to be able to just talk to people in such a way. Like,
Yes.
what?
Yo, listen. See, this is what happens when you invite niggers into your house. You know what I mean? Like,
I mean, I love you, dog. You know I love you, dog. I
yo,
had to get
man.
you though. I
Hey,
had to
listen,
get you.
and
I'm
he did
turning the
that on
light
purpose, y'all. He waited to the perfect time. I was literally in the middle of it, trying to get up out of here to say the last words, and he waited perfectly, y'all. And let me tell y'all something. He's very calculated. Those gray hairs on his head, they're not there because he's silly. He's very wise, so he knows exactly what he's doing. And I'm gonna hear all about this as soon as this episode is over, and probably more so in the morning anyway. But to everybody out there, man, listen, we appreciate y'all. We really do. We will be back at y'all neck. We will be back in your ears, and we will be bringing this contact that's going to help us, help you, help that we all be a better version of ourselves for the world that we live in. So, fathers, you know the motto, but if you don't, check this out. To the world, you're just a dad. That's all you are. But to the family that you have, you're the world. Don't you forget that. But until next time we see y'all out there, be good to yourself and the ones around you. And if you can't be good to the ones around you, that's all right. Just get those people from around you. Yo, this is your boy RJD, the Imperfect Gentleman, and this has been another dope episode of the Imperfect Fathers Podcast. Y'all be blessed, because we will. Peace, King.
Bubblegum and drum drops, and everything is great. This is beautiful.
Yo, as a matter of fact, let me just get him out of here. Let me just move him. We throw him out of here with his bubble gum. He's singing a song that I don't even know he's that old. Peace, family.